Well, Edwards, there's been some interesting polling going around the DMs these days.
Because I see on the smirk on your face that you've really been waiting to drop this one on me.
You kind of set it up and I guess dropped it yourself. The question a lot of people want to know is who's going to be responsible for opening more bottles in the month of December? These two puppies or you?
You're such a jerk. And I censored myself. I was going to say some other stuff, but if you notice, I'm not a dumbass. I don't have plastic there for the dogs to chew on. The bottle was already opened before they chewed it.
Defend yourself however you feel necessary.
You know what? It makes me feel good that you sit around and talk about me in DMs to other people. That's very flattering.
That one came from our Wolfpack boy, John Tanica.
Well, he can come over to my house and open any bottle he wants.
Hey, be careful. January is going to be messy.
Hey, come on over, John Tanica. Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, and with me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. How are you, my friend Zeke Baker?
Hey, 6'4" above is better than the alternative.
I wish I was 6'4". I'm only 6'3".
I actually had that conversation last night. Somebody was like, man, I didn't realize you were quite that tall. I always thought Edwards was the tall one. I was like, oh man, like it chaps his ass to no end. Like he's 6'3", I'm 6'4", and like all they'll say is, I'm normally the tallest person, and then your ass has to be 1 inch taller. And just like it gives me a look.
It's just weird. And I will say, when you are a tall person, if there's anyone that's a little bit taller than you, it freaks you the hell out being next to them. I mean, do you have that too? Like you're a tall guy. So if somebody, Yeah, it just really gets me. Like if I'm sitting there talking to somebody and I'm like, wait, you're tall. I'm not used to this. This is freaking me out.
Well, no, it's like when somebody's like, who are you talking about? Like, oh, that tall son bitch. And they're like, who are you calling a tall son bitch? Like, what do you think you are? And I'm like, he had me beat though. Like that makes him extra son bitch.
I like when people call me a biggin. That's the other thing. Like you only get that in the South. Like, you know, who's Edwards? Oh, that biggin over there.
I've used that a time or two to describe you.
I bet you have. You're also sipping Eagle Rare from the bottle, or you're also sipping Rebel Yell from the bottle. This is the old Sitz-a-Weller Rebel Yell.
It is a bottle stamp from 89. I had it out of the bottle share. It's at the point to where it's going to flock or it needs to find a good home, and I'm going to find it a good home.
I think 2 ounces could find its way to me if you really want to.
You should have brought that up about 2 shows ago.
Well, this show is sponsored by Cask Cartel, the premium spirits marketplace. They are like the Amazon of the spirits industry, and they hook you up with retailers that will send whiskey, liquor, whatever it is, directly to your door. Obviously, the allocated stuff is going to cost a little bit more because it's a convenience play. You don't have to enter a raffle. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to spend a certain amount at a certain store. You just have to have enough to let your whiskey get shipped directly to your door. Their daily drinkers are going to be more on par with what you would pay at the store, so check them out at caskcartel.com and be lazy like Zeke. Get whiskey shipped to your door. Follow them on Instagram at Cask Cartel. They're always doing awesome giveaways to their followers. Today's show is also sponsored by premiumbarproducts.com, the #1 place to go to get laser etched glassware at good prices. It's that holiday season. What better gift to give somebody than a laser etched glass? You can put what you want on it, and it's a personalized way to reach out and touch someone and say, I understand you like whiskey. Let me get you a custom glass. You can do that at premiumbarproducts.com. They have all sorts of glasses that you can customize. The neat glass, the Tua glass, the Dram, the Perfect Dram, the Kenzie Dram, the Glen, the Wee Glen, whatever it is, they have it. You can also get the official Dad's Drinking Bourbon Glencairn glass there, which I know Zeke has gone through his fair share, and a lot get swiped from his house. So if you have to restock, go to premiumbarproducts.com. Use code DADS10 for 10% off of your customized order at premiumbarproducts.com. If you are a distillery or a whiskey group or a store and you have more of a wholesale order, reach out to me. I will be happy to hook you up with the team at premiumbarproducts.com that wants to hook you up with wholesale pricing on your order. We're drinking something pretty interesting today, and this comes from Phenomenal Spirits. Now, Phenomenal Spirits is an idea, a vision, an incubation platform to develop exceptionally high-quality, super premium, and ultra-premium spirits. The name of their company is their promise to you that they create phenomenal spirits for phenomenal people for phenomenal moments. I can get behind that. That's what it says on their website. They have a whole vision thing as well as products. They do a lot of rum at Phenomenal Spirits, which is going to play into this rye whiskey that they put out. Now, they put out a rye whiskey. It's called Rye, but it's RY3 when you see it at the store. They sent us their blend at 100 proof as well as their cask strength. The blend is 50% ABV, 100 proof. Rye is a special blend of 3 phenomenal whiskeys, 3 carefully hand-picked mash bills, and 3 distinctive age statements that are meticulously blended with artisanal distinction to create this magical liquid. The culmination of this beautifully well-balanced whiskey is finished in vintage rum casks, resulting in a sipping experience of silky smooth rye with layers of fruity and complex notes from the rum barrels. And this is out of Phenomenal Spirits in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Be phenomenal, be responsible. That's what the bottle says. So it's 100 proof, 50% ABV. The cask strength is 119.4 proof, 59.7% ABV. Zeke, what did you think about this whiskey?
So the first one I tasted was the, I guess, just regular RY3. At least that's how you labeled the sample for me. Mm-hmm. I thought nose-wise, it had a nice blend of cinnamon and marshmallow. I picked up some honeydew, and towards the back end, working through the nose, it definitely seemed slightly organic, maybe not necessarily medicinal, but an earthy floral type essence, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you get something that's kind of sweet, but also you get the earth and all the other components that come along with it.
Totally get it. Palate-wise,
I had to write fast. This thing really came at me. I thought it was almost like a sweet tart for a second, a lemon head. It just really has, to me, a fun balance of sweet with the organic bitter from the rye grain, I assume. That's kind of where I got like the tart that went along with it. Tasting it again back through it, I just put down it was, cotton candy with a medicinal finish. I had a lot of fun with this. I enjoyed it a pretty darn good bit.
The nose, I think there's like a fruity funk to it, though. It's something I can't necessarily put my finger on. I understand what you were saying. I mean, it is very sweet. That cotton candy makes a lot of sense to me. The marshmallow makes a lot of sense to me. But there's something funky to it on the nose that isn't there on the taste, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And a lot of fruity funk. I think that has to be the rum cask influence here. The taste, I said, there's some nice spice to it, but a whole lot of fruit for sure. The mint and wintergreen is there, so I think there has to be some 95.5 in here. I'm not 100% sure what the blend is, and they didn't disclose that, but I think there has to be something because I am getting a little bit of mint and wintergreen, but there's a lot to this, just like you said. I mean, it's just one of those aspects, and you know me, I pick that up right away, but it's really just one of the things that is in here. The funny thing is at 100 proof and being a rye, it doesn't tingle a lot. It goes down very easy.
No, like I said, I mean, I enjoyed this a pretty good bit. Like if I was going to put a smiley face sticker or something on something, like this would be the one out of quite a few recent pours we've had that I'm like, oh, that's in my wheelhouse.
I think about how when I recently just did a pick down at Jack Daniel's and you were like, you got to pick up the Tennessee Taster that has the rum, and it wasn't there. I wasn't able to get it, but that is something that you and I were both interested in what a rum finish would do. I really enjoy this rum finish. I mean, I think it's adding a lot of complexity. There's a whole lot going on with this rye. It's just like you said. I mean, I could sit here and spout out tasting notes to you, but just know there's a lot and it comes quickly. And the second you think you have one in your head, it's like I have ADD where I'm like, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. I need like 4 hours with this drink to really write everything down. And by the end of it, I'd probably need so much of it that I'd be snoring.
I get it. And at the same time, I think this is just a really good balance of sweet and tartness. It goes well together. You know, those are two natural things that obviously appeal to a lot of people. This is dialed in pretty well. You know, I'll give them the golf clap on that one.
Now, what did you think about the cask strength? This is 119 proof, 59.7% ABV.
The cask strength, we didn't get along quite as well. Nose-wise, I thought it shone a lot more clove and spice. It really reminded me, if at least in my head, if you took some licorice gum and then you put a piece of it over on top of a piece of juicy fruit. I know that's kind of a weird out there thing. That was really what I thought of. Palate-wise, there was more heat. It seemed more organic in like the sense of like the back end of sucking a honeysuckle essence. Just that whole medicinal earthy side. It really dominated more than what I thought from the first one. Able to pick up, you know, some kind of like apple cinnamonish, you know, notes off the rye. And there was definitely a strong singe at the back end. I really thought the lower proof one, you know, hit the nail on the head and just seemed a lot more dialed in.
As normal, you were awarded 0 points, and may God have mercy on your soul, because we could not be more opposite. I did enjoy the 100 proof. You hit the nail on the head on this one, though. Clove is just the number one thing I get on that nose. It's like just Christmas, potpourri, clove, what you want to be sitting drinking down by the fire. But the number one difference between this and the 100 proof for me was just the mouthfeel. The way that this coated your mouth and just had, it's one of those pours that just kind of has like a layer that is over you and just coats your whole mouth. And it's one of those ones where you drink it and you feel like I got my money's worth on this one. Like everything on this, it is thick. It is creamy. It's spicy. It's everything I kind of look for. I didn't really get that mint in here at all. I just got more of the rye spice. And the bummer for this one is there were only 60 produced out of this blend. I'm super bummed because I want a bottle of this really bad.
See, I don't get mint. I just get a...
No, I don't get mint on the...
It's organic. I mean... I
don't get mint on the cask strength at all. I'm saying I get mint on the 100 proof.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
And this screams rye. Like it doesn't scream MGP rye to me, but it screams like Christmas rye. It screams like I want to sit by the Christmas tree. I want to sip a nice drink, read a book. Whatever you do when you're sitting on the couch enjoying your pour, this screams it to me like it's just cozy. Everything about this rye is just cozy to me. I want to curl up in a blanket, not think about
your
what?
I was going to say, put on your Lululemon, your Uggs.
Nothing about Lululemon is cozy by a fire.
Smell your Starbucks sitting beneath the sofa.
You really could have got me if you mentioned flannel by the fire, but Lululemon, I mean, you missed the troll. That was a swing and a miss.
You know.
I give it like a 3 out of 10.
I mean, I think the real swing and the miss here is the fact that you like the cask strength more than the other one. As the great philosopher Willy Wonka said, I mean, candy's dandy, but liquor's quicker. And this thing is sweet and good.
Well, Veruca Salt, I will just tell you that you could want the whole world, but this cask strength is where it's at for me. I'm just assuming, I mean, the best part about this, and I didn't even tell you, the cask strength is $69 and the rum cask finish 100 proof is $56.
Ooh, that's solid.
To find a rye like this for $56, I mean, even though I said I like the cask strength more, I'm a buy on both.
I'm going to buy 2 of the reg, and I'll let you get one of those limited release cask strengths. And I can say I feel good about myself for you.
That's fine. That's fine. But I just think having a unique rye is such an interesting place to be right now, where there's a lot of rye that comes out that's the same. I mean, that's my jam with the 95.5 right now, is just that I feel like there's a lot of ryes out there that taste the same. That's why I like the Nashville Barrel Company blend a whole hell of a lot, because it's different. That's why I really like this, because it's different. That's why I like Wild Turkey Cornerstone that came out last year, because it's different. I don't want the same rye in a different package over and over and over and over. That's why I love the Chattanooga rye, because it's got the malted rye and it's a little bit different. I'm just sick of the same old thing.
Hey, I mean, that's why you get two dogs, so you can smell two different smells of shit every day, multiple times.
Touche. Funny enough story, you probably missed it, but in our Grains and Grits episode, which was the two best friends that anyone could have podcast, that you missed because you don't go to any of the Tennessee Distillers Guild events. You have not been, in 5 years, you have not been to one Tennessee Distillers Guild event.
I had to work that weekend, but I went to events the weekend before and the weekend following, which you did not attend. So I like to think we were covering all our bases as best we could.
We were, but do you know that the Tennessee Distillers Guild thinks you do not exist?
That's okay. I mean,
they
one day
think I made you up. They really do. They think that you are my imaginary friend, Zeke. They have actually said to me that they think that I do the whole podcast and change my voice in post to sound like you.
I mean, then whenever the day comes, how amazed will they be when they're like, oh, that's the cool one out of the group.
But I will tell you that the two best friends that anyone could have podcast was co-hosted by Tim Piersont from Chattanooga Whiskey. And he has a challenge for you, because in their rye, they actually changed it. So they changed one of the grains from the very first barrels, which is what you tasted, to what they're actually putting out now. So now has a chocolate malted rye that was not there in the beginning. So he wants you to taste the rye again and then give your thoughts.
I mean, I'm always game. I will at least throw out there that same weekend, you were with Mr. Arnett, whom we picked with once, so he could at least verify that I was a legitimate person.
Jeff still thinks you don't exist.
Well, whatever. We shot the shit for 2 hours straight.
I have to say, that's what I love about Grains and Grits, though. So it was me and Tim and Jeff on Friday night, and we were sitting by a fire till 3 a.m, sitting next to those two and having them talk about distillation methods and what they were using for barrels and what they were using for grains and just the knowledge that was dropped. You would be surprised at this, Zeke. I did not talk. I just sat there and listened to those two talk for a very, very, very long time.
In my mind, as I'm thinking about this, I just picture like the only interjection that comes from John is being like, so really, which one do y'all think is like the better vehicle to put a hot dog in? The bun I got in my left hand or the corn dog in my right hand? Because I like the corn dog on my right hand because it's kind of sweet, but I get kind of messy with it. And on my left hand, I got this bun, and it keeps me from getting the ketchup and mustard and chili all over myself.
At this point, we were not eating. It was like dinner was over. Grains and Grits, literally, I could talk about this for hours. It's my favorite event. And it's more the Friday night I love so much, and I got to get you to it next year, Zeke. So we were sitting by the fire. It was Jeff, Tim, and I, and then Heath Clark came over, and then Greg from Sugarlands came over. I mean, just everybody comes by. Chris Tatum was stopping by. We had Madame Presidente, Alex Castle, drop by for a minute. She is the president of the Tennessee Distillers Guild. So there's just a whole bunch of people, and it's like this open, each cabin has its own fire pit, and people just have fire pits on Friday night, and you have all these distillers going from one fire to another, just shooting the shit, having a good time, sharing bottles. And I got to bring you out next year because you really got to experience it.
Hey, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll shoot for 2021. Lord knows 2020 was enough shit of a year.
Amen. Now, regarding this rye, check out Phenomenal Spirits. I'd be in on both of these. I like the cast strength a little bit more. Zeke likes the 100 proofer a little bit more, but I think it's fair to say that we both liked them both.
I like the 100 proofer a lot, honestly. This is a good, drinking rye whiskey. It hits the wheelhouse.
Find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Find us wherever you download your podcast. Chances are you already have because you're listening to us right now. But guess what? You should tell a friend. You should tell a friend, hey, go ahead and listen to Dad's Drinking Bourbon. It's a great thing to do around the holidays while you're sitting around the fire drinking a rye whiskey. Leave us an open and honest review, just like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
I'm about to go hit some calisthenics so I can keep up with you in this No Days Off campaign.
Can't wait. Cheers.
Ciao.